Imagine two people standing at the exact same starting line. They grow up in similar neighborhoods, attend similar schools, and even begin their careers at similar entry-level jobs. Fast forward 20 years, and their lives look completely different. One has built wealth, owns assets, enjoys financial freedom, and continuously grows. The other lives paycheck to paycheck, constantly stressed about money, feeling stuck, despite working just as hard. What separates them is not luck, not intelligence, and not even opportunity. The difference begins in the mind. Today we are diving deep into the concept of the rich mindset versus the poor mindset, not to judge anyone, but to understand the patterns of thinking that create completely different financial realities. A rich mindset and a poor mindset are not about how much money you currently have in your bank accounts. They're about how you think about money, opportunity, risk, growth, failure, and yourself. Someone can have very little money, yet operate with a rich mindset. At the same time, someone can inherit millions and still operate with a poor mindset, eventually losing everything. Mindset determines direction. Direction determines decisions. Decisions determine results. Let's start with how each mindset views money itself. A poor mindset sees money as scarce. There is never enough. If someone else gets more, it means there is less available for them. Money feels limited, like a pie that can only be divided into so many slices. Because of this belief, competition feels threatening, and other people's success feels intimidating. Jealousy becomes common. On the other hand, a rich mindset sees money as abundant. It sees value creation as unlimited. If one person becomes wealthy, it doesn't reduce the chances for others. In fact, it often expands opportunity. A rich mindset understands that wealth is created by solving problems, creating value, building systems, and serving people at scale. Another key difference lies in how each mindset views income. A poor mindset focuses almost entirely on earning money through time. It believes money comes from working more hours, asking for small raises, or waiting for promotions. Time equals money, and once time runs out, income stops. A rich mindset focuses on building assets that generate income independently of time. Instead of just working for money, it makes money work for them. This could mean building businesses, investing in stocks, creating intellectual property, purchasing real estate, or building digital platforms. The core idea is leverage. How can 1 hour of effort produce results that continue paying back long after the hour is over? Now consider how each mindset views spending. A poor mindset often spends first and thinks later. Purchases are driven by emotion, comparison, or the desire for immediate gratification. There is often an urge to look successful before becoming successful. Expensive clothes, flashy cars, and luxury items become symbols of worth. Ironically, these purchases often delay true financial freedom. A rich mindset delays gratification. It understands that discipline today creates freedom tomorrow. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" it asks, "Should I buy this? And will this purchase bring a return in value, growth, or long-term happiness?" The rich mindset is not against enjoying money, but it prioritizes investing before consuming. Let's talk about risk. A poor mindset sees risk as something to avoid at all costs. Stability is everything. The fear of losing money, losing status, or failing publicly. This leads to staying in unfulfilling jobs, avoiding new opportunities, and settling for average results. A rich mindset sees risk differently. It understands that risk is part of growth, but more importantly, it understands calculated risk. It studies, learns, prepares, and 10x. It doesn't jump blindly, but it also doesn't wait forever. It knows that doing nothing is often the biggest risk of all. Failure is another major dividing line. A poor mindset interprets failure as identity. If something doesn't work, it means I am not good enough. This leads to embarrassment, quitting, or blaming others. A rich mindset sees failure as feedback. If something doesn't work, it means this method didn't work. The identity remains intact. Lessons are extracted. Adjustments are made. Then, action continues. Over time, this creates exponential growth because every setback becomes data for improvement rather than a reason to stop. How each mindset approaches learning also matters. A poor mindset often believes education ends with formal schooling. Once a degree is earned or a job is secured, learning slows down. Books feel unnecessary. Courses feel expensive. Self-development feels optional. A rich mindset treats learning as a lifelong responsibility. It invests heavily in knowledge, mentors, books, seminars, and experiences. It understands that the highest return on investment is often knowledge applied consistently over time. The rich mindset is curious. It asks questions. It studies people who have achieved what it wants. It doesn't assume it already knows enough. Now, let's examine opportunity. A poor mindset waits for opportunity to appear. It hopes for a lucky break, a connection, or a perfect timing. It often says, "If only I had," followed by resources, support, or circumstances. A rich mindset creates opportunity. It looks for gaps in markets, inefficiencies in systems, problems that need solutions. Instead of complaining about what is missing, it asks how it can provide value. Even in difficult environments, it searches for leverage points. This proactive approach multiplies options. Time perspective is another crucial difference. A poor mindset thinks short-term. It prioritizes immediate comfort over long-term growth. It avoids temporary discomfort, even if it leads to permanent benefit. For example, it may avoid investing because it reduces current spending power. A rich mindset thinks long-term. It understands compound growth. It understands that small, consistent actions over years can produce massive outcomes. It is willing to sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term freedom. Let's look at relationships with successful people. A poor mindset may resent wealthy individuals. It may assume they are greedy, lucky, or unethical. This belief creates distance from valuable networks. A rich mindset studies successful people. It doesn't idolize them blindly, but it seeks to understand their habits, strategies, and thinking patterns. It believes proximity to high achievers raises standards and expands vision. Another powerful difference lies in responsibility. A poor mindset often externalizes blame. If finances are struggling, it blames the economy, the boss, the government, the family background, or bad luck. While external factors absolutely exist, constant blame removes personal power. A rich mindset takes ownership. Even in unfair situations, it asks, what can I control? What can I improve? How can I adapt? This internal locus of control creates momentum instead of stagnation. Let's talk about comfort zones. A poor mindset prioritizes comfort. It prefers familiarity, even if familiarity means limitation. It fears judgment and criticism. A rich mindset deliberately stretches its comfort zone. It understands that growth happens at the edge of discomfort. Public speaking, launching a business, negotiating salaries, investing in unfamiliar assets. These actions feel uncomfortable, but they expand capability. Consider also the difference in how each mindset views value creation. A poor mindset focuses on effort. I worked hard, so I deserve more money. But markets do not pay based on effort alone. They pay based on value delivered. A rich mindset focuses on results. It asks, how can I create more value for more people? The more people you help solve meaningful problems, the more financial reward tends to follow. Effort matters, but leverage and impact matter more. Another subtle but powerful difference is in goal setting. A poor mindset sets goals based on survival. Pay the bills. Avoid debt. Get through the month. A rich mindset sets goals based on expansion. Build wealth, create legacy, achieve financial independence. The scale of thinking influences the scale of action. When you think small, you act small. When you think big, you stretch your capabilities. Delayed gratification deserves deeper attention. Numerous psychological studies have shown that the ability to delay immediate pleasure for future reward correlates strongly with long-term success. A poor mindset often chooses immediate reward, spending the bonus, upgrading the phone, taking on debt for lifestyle upgrades. A rich mindset often invests the bonus, builds assets, or reinvests profits into growth. Over years, this difference compounds dramatically. Debt is another area where mindsets diverge. A poor mindset often uses debt to finance consumption, credit cards, fun vacations, gadgets, and lifestyle inflation. Interest becomes a burden. A rich mindset uses debt strategically to acquire assets that generate returns higher than the cost of borrowing. It understands the difference between good debt and bad debt. The tool is the same, but intention and knowledge make the difference. Scarcity thinking also affects collaboration. A poor mindset may hesitate to share ideas, fearing someone will steal them. It may avoid partnerships due to distrust. A rich mindset understands that collaboration often multiplies outcomes. It seeks win-win situations. It builds networks. It understands that trust and reputation are forms of capital. Emotional control is another hidden factor. Financial decisions are often emotional. Fear during market downturns causes panic selling. Excitement during hype cycles causes reckless investing. A poor mindset reacts emotionally. A rich mindset develops emotional discipline. It creates rules and systems to guide decisions rather than relying on feelings in the moment. Gratitude also plays a role. A poor mindset constantly focuses on what is missing. This creates dissatisfaction and stress. A rich mindset practices gratitude for what exists while still striving for more. This balanced perspective creates mental resilience. Gratitude does not eliminate ambition. It stabilizes it. Self-image might be the most important difference of all. A poor mindset often carries limiting beliefs such as, people like me don't become wealthy, or I'm just not good with money. These beliefs quietly influence every financial decision. A rich mindset consciously builds empowering beliefs. I can learn this. I can improve. Wealth is a skill. Identity drives behavior. If you see yourself as someone who builds wealth, you will gradually align your habits with that identity. Let's address generosity. Interestingly, many wealthy individuals with a rich mindset are highly generous. They donate, invest in communities, and support causes. Why? Because they see money as a tool, not a master. A poor mindset may hold tightly to money out of fear of losing it. Ironically, this fear often blocks growth. A rich mindset understands circulation. Money flows where value flows. Now think about adaptability. The world changes rapidly. Industries rise and fall. Technology disrupts traditional paths. A poor mindset resists change and hopes things stay the same. A rich mindset anticipates change and adapts quickly. It sees disruption as opportunity. Instead of asking, how do I protect what I have? It asks, how do I position myself for what's coming? Let's talk about comparison. A poor mindset compares lifestyle. It measures worth by visible consumption. A rich mindset compares strategy and growth. It measures progress by skills gained, assets built, and freedom created. Lifestyle eventually becomes a byproduct, not the primary scoreboard. Patience is another defining trait. Wealth built with a rich mindset often grows slowly at first. There are years of planting seeds, reinvesting profits, and learning through mistakes. A poor mindset may quit during this slow phase, assuming it's not working. A rich mindset understands the exponential curve. Growth is often invisible before it becomes obvious. Environment also influences mindset. Surrounding yourself with people who constantly complain about money reinforces scarcity thinking. Surrounding yourself with ambitious, growth-oriented individuals expands possibility. A rich mindset intentionally curates environment. Books, podcasts, mentors, conversations. It protects mental space from negativity. Let's examine confidence. A poor mindset waits to feel confident before acting. A rich mindset acts before feeling fully ready. It understands that confidence is built through action, not before Italiano. This bias toward action accelerates learning and opportunity. There is also a difference in how each mindset views employment. A poor mindset sees a job as security. A rich mindset sees a job as a stepping stone, training ground, or capital source for future investments. It extracts skills, networks, and savings strategically. We should also talk about vision. A poor mindset often lacks a clear long-term financial vision. Without a destination, decisions become reactive. A rich mindset defines clear financial goals, specific net worth targets, passive income numbers, business milestones. Clarity drives focus. Resilience under pressure is another distinction. Financial setbacks are inevitable. Markets crash. Businesses struggle. Unexpected expenses arise. A poor mindset may interpret these events as proof that success is impossible. A rich mindset interprets them as temporary challenges. It adjusts strategy but maintains belief. Let's explore creativity. A poor mindset may believe there is only one path to earning: traditional employment. A rich mindset explores multiple streams of income. It asks, what skills do I have that could be monetized? What problems can I solve? Creativity expands earning capacity. One of the most powerful elements of a rich mindset is compound thinking. It understands that small improvements repeated daily create massive differences over time. Reading 10 pages per day becomes dozens of books per year. Investing small amounts consistently grows into substantial portfolios. Improving communication skills opens higher income opportunities. Compound thinking turns ordinary actions into extraordinary outcomes. Control over impulses is critical. Marketing is designed to trigger instant desire. A poor mindset often reacts to these triggers unconsciously. A rich mindset builds awareness. It questions motives behind purchases and delays decisions to ensure alignment with long-term goals. Let's address fear of judgment. Many people remain financially stagnant because they fear what others will think if they try something new. Starting a business, investing publicly, or pursuing unconventional paths can attract criticism. A poor mindset prioritizes approval. A rich mindset prioritizes progress. It understands that critics rarely pay your bills. Another difference lies in gratitude versus entitlement. A poor mindset may feel entitled to wealth without corresponding value creation. A rich mindset understands that wealth is earned through contribution. It focuses on earning, not demanding. Consistency separates dreamers from builders. A poor mindset may act intensely for short bursts and then quit. A rich mindset values consistency over intensity. Small, repeated actions beat sporadic effort. Let's also discuss health. A rich mindset recognizes that physical and mental health are assets. Without energy and clarity, wealth building becomes difficult. It invests in exercise, sleep, and mental well-being. A poor mindset may neglect health in pursuit of short-term earnings, creating long-term costs. Clarity around purpose can amplify wealth creation. A poor mindset may chase money alone, leading to burnout. A rich mindset often connects financial goals to deeper purpose, freedom, impact, legacy. Purpose sustains motivation during difficult phases. We should also examine humility. A rich mindset remains open to learning, even after success. A poor mindset may resist advice due to ego. Humility allows continuous growth. Grind culture sometimes confuses people. Working long hours alone does not guarantee wealth. A poor mindset equates exhaustion with progress. A rich mindset values efficiency, leverage, and strategic thinking. It asks, what is the highest value activity I can focus on right now? Let's touch on innovation. A poor mindset copies without understanding. A rich mindset studies principles and adapts them creatively. It doesn't just replicate, it improves. Another critical factor is decision speed. A poor mindset procrastinates due to fear. A rich mindset gathers reasonable information and then decides. Speed compounds, just like money does. Generational thinking also differs. A poor mindset often thinks only about immediate needs. A rich mindset thinks about future generations. It builds assets that can outlive the individual. Confidence with numbers is important too. A poor mindset avoids tracking expenses and investments due to discomfort. A rich mindset faces numbers directly. It tracks, measures, and optimizes. Let's consider emotional attachment to money. A poor mindset may see money as the ultimate source of security, creating constant anxiety. A rich mindset sees money as a tool for freedom, not identity. Finally, understand that shifting from a poor mindset to a rich mindset is not about pretending to be wealthy. It is about changing internal narratives. It starts with awareness. Notice your thoughts about money. Challenge limiting beliefs. Replace scarcity thinking with growth thinking. Start small. Invest consistently. Learn continuously. Take calculated risks. Surround yourself with growth-oriented people. Practice gratitude. Focus on value creation. The journey from a poor mindset to a rich mindset is not instant. It is gradual and intentional. But once the shift happens internally, external results begin to align. Wealth becomes less about chasing money and more about becoming the kind of person who attracts and manages it wisely. In the end, the true difference between a rich mindset and a poor mindset is not luck, background, or starting point. It is perspective. One mindset sees obstacles and stops. The other sees obstacles and strategizes. One fears scarcity. The other believes in creation. One waits. The other acts. And over years, these small differences in thinking create dramatically different lives.